This is another video that I'm making more or less for my friend to see. And I have a good friend named Jonathan down in Orange County. Huge shout out. He collects VHS cassette tapes, as do I, as you saw in my video a few days ago. So today I got a VHS haul just for him. Videos that I enjoy, that I couldn't help pick up for 25 cents a piece, and videos that I recommend that he watch. Whether he watches them or not, that's up to him. These are still great movies nonetheless, and they are on the 4:3 aspect ratio. So first of all, we got a copy of The Shop Around the Corner, starring Margaret Sullivan and Jimmy Stewart. This was purchased used at a Bay Area record store up here called Rasputin's. It looks like someone paid $3.95 for it once upon a time. This movie is black and white, 97 minutes long, came out in 1940. This is a year 2000 VHS copy. So we are getting into the waning years of VHS tape where they don't even put a paper label. They just kind of screen print onto the case. Yes, so Little Shop Around the Corner. It is one of those movies. Oh, and it even says right here, The Shop Around the Corner was breezily updated to the electronic age when Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan clicked together in You've Got Mail. So therefore, I got him a copy of You've Got Mail, which just happens to be the modern adaptation of this. And this just happens to be one of my wife Nicole's favorite movies. Directed by Nora Ephron. Meg Ryan, pre-plastic surgery. Sorry, Meg. You looked great before you messed your face up. I don't know. Anyway, that wasn't nice. Gene Stapleton is also in this movie. And there's a guy that's in a lot of 80s movies. Oh yeah, you're right. Dave Chappelle is in this movie. That is hilarious. What else? Oh, Greg Kinnear, another great actor. There's a guy I can't remember his name, so I'm not going to get into it. Because, again, we don't do any preparation for these videos. We just speak as we go along. This movie came out in 1999 on VHS. 120 minutes long. So I am wondering, because if this came out in 99 and this was re-released on VHS in 2000, did they kind of coincide with each other? And the video release where they're trying to, probably because of it specifically mentions it in the back of this box. But these movies, you got to watch them together. This movie, Artificial Intelligence, was originally going to be made by Stanley Kubrick in 2012 or so at the LACMA, Los Angeles County Museum of Art. They had a Stanley Kubrick display, and they talked about movies that were all ready to be made by Kubrick, and this movie, AI, was originally going to be made by Kubrick. But he then felt that he could not find a child actor good enough, so he passed it on to Amblin Entertainment, and then you get this Steven Spielberg movie. 2 hours and 25 minutes long, 2002. So again, we're in the final days of VHS. This one has an owner's name carved into it. C. Kloss II. Screen printed final days of VHS here. And then lastly, I picked up a movie for him recently. I sent him a copy of The Great Escape on 2-part VHS, starring James Garner and Steve McQueen and Richard Attenborough. So today I picked up a Billy Wilder classic for my friend, and this is a 1992 copy of the 1952 movie Stalag 17, starring William Holden. It is directed by, as I said, Billy Wilder, known for such famous movies as The Apartment, Double Indemnity, and the personal Jack Lemmon classic, co-starring Tony Curtis, some like it hot. But this movie, excellent movie. It was an adaptation of a play, and this is when VHS was still the main viewing format because it's got a paper label. And then you could just feel made in the USA. The case quality on the earlier VHSs is just much better than like the final editions. It just feels beefy. And this one does not look like it has hardly ever even been played. There's hardly anywhere to the leader tape right there. 120 minutes long, black and white, not rated. Interesting. So if you watch this, ooh, and look at that. It's even got the Paramount Pictures Authenticity logo right there. If you're into World War II movies, this movie is an excellent must-watch movie. All these movies are good, but this movie in particular, I remember seeing this as a kid at my grandparents' house on cable, and it just still, I could just think of scenes in my mind and characters in this movie. There is some great characters in this movie. I feel like Schultz from Hogan's Heroes plays off of one of the characters in this movie, and William Holden, excellent actor of the period. Highly recommend his other movie that he's in. That's also a Billy Wilder film, Sunset Boulevard. So that's it for today that I picked up for him. Hang on just a second and I'll show you what I picked up for myself on the same trip. Okay, so I have never seen this movie, but it got really high scores on IMDb. Elizabeth Taylor, A Place in the Sun. This says 1951, but this copy is 1989. Again, this is another Paramount release. It's got the paper label, which I like, and the spine label. So this is like when VHS was still the main viewing format. Not rewound all the way to the leader tape, but it looks to be in very good condition. Again, my friend Ryan's cringing because I enjoy the 4:3 aspect ratio on a CRT television set. This movie was based on a novel, The American Tragedy, by Theodore Dreiser and Patrick Kearney, play adapted from the novel. Montgomery Clift, Elizabeth Taylor, Shelley Winters. Directed by George Stevenson. I have not seen this movie. I don't know anything about it. So we're going to check this one out soon. Maybe there'll be a separate review just talking about this movie. What else do we got? This movie I have seen. It's probably been over 10 years. 2-part VHS. This movie is very disturbing. Sergio Leone, a Lad Company release. This movie came out in 1983, and this is a 1991 copy. Once Upon a Time in America. I remember this movie was recommended by a friend of a friend called Symbiotic Reviews. Check him out. He does movie reviews, and he would do like his picks that he recommends. Very disturbing stuff in this movie. It's long. It is incredibly long, obviously, because it's on a 2-part VHS. Early Warner Brothers VHS. 226 minutes long. Robert De Niro and I believe James Woods is in here. Yes. So this is one of those movies. It's gut-wrenching, and there's some really weird dream sequences where you really don't know what's going on, and if things happen that didn't really happen, it's just kind of a... But, this guy was famous for, like, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Oh, I'm sorry. Did he do Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? I don't know. It says in the back that he did some Clint Eastwood spaghetti western type movies. But anyway, this is an interesting movie. Probably won't watch it again, but I thought, okay, it'll be cool to have on the shelf because I like these earlier VHS releases. This movie I've always heard about. The Andromeda Strain. This is an MCA Universal release, 1990 copy of a 1970 movie. Don't know anything about it. Michael Crichton novel, so if you're into that. It says it's rated G, but I thought it's supposed to be kind of freaky. Again, it's those early VHSs where they still have the paper label, which I like. Is it weird that I collect VHS? Comment down below if you guys are still into video cassettes. 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Don't know anything about it. Maybe we'll do a little discussion on this one too. Lastly, I got a few more that I got 2 days ago, but we'll talk about it here because I feel like it. Okay, this movie I've always heard of, and it looked very interesting. Again, I love me some Jack Lemmon. And I picked this one up a couple of days ago, The China Syndrome. This is a 1978 movie. This is a 1988 VHS copy. Good Times Video, which seems... I'm pretty sure these are like... I don't know. I feel like these are not official releases. Or maybe they had some sort of connection. The label is horribly applied. It's not even centered. But this is a movie that I've always heard about. And it's about a nuclear meltdown. So that looked interesting. So I picked that up. I like buying a lot of classics, as you can see. This movie, here's another Billy Wilder movie. This movie was released in 1970. This is an MCA copy in 1994. Still has the paper label, which I like. The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, written by Billy Wilder and directed. So we'll check that one out. Again, he directed this movie. This is a later release because this one came out in 52 and this came out in 70. What else do we got that I got within the last week? I love Frank Capra. I love myself a lot of those early movies. Lost Horizons from the Frank Capra Centennial Collection, and this has a paper label. It is a 1997 copy, 134 minutes long. Don't know what it's about. Looks like it's about a plane crash, judging by the picture on the back of the box. I'll check it out. And then lastly, we have Steven Spielberg Presents. Picked this up within the last couple of weeks. Young Sherlock Holmes, PG-13, 1986, directed by Barry Levinson, who, if you remember my video a couple of days ago, The Natural, which came out in 84, 2 years before this, also directed by Barry Levinson. So this movie seems cool. Oh, and this is what I love too. X Video Rental, Video Palace, 2517 Mitchell Road, Ceres, California. And it's got the video rental barcode right there. Yes. Be kind. Please rewind. Well played. The leader tape is heavily worn. But you know what? That other Natural copy was... It was well played too, and it still was okay. When you watch it on CRT, it looks a lot better. When I watch these with my VCR hooked up to my modern TV downstairs, they look horrible. So these are best viewed on a CRT television. This video is dedicated to anybody that's into VHS tapes or movies in general. If you want to talk movies, comment down below. We can have a conversation. I'll try and respond as best as I can. Until next time, we'll see you then.